Good day and God bless you, and welcome to the Bible reading in chronological order. I just want to thank you again for joining us for the Bible reading today, and I pray that the Lord would bless you as you seek to grow closer to Him through His Word. We're still busy in the book of Genesis, and today we're going to focus particularly on chapters 46 and 47. Now we see in chapter 46 that this chapter deals with Jacob's journey into Egypt. But the first thing that Jacob does as he sets out is to offer sacrifices unto the Lord. And when he does this, God appears to him in visions and promises to make of him a great nation in Egypt and that he will bring them out again. Now just take note that excluding Jacob's sons' wives, but including Joseph and his two sons, all the family of Israel was 70 in number. Now this is quite important, and those that do study in Bible numerology and things, you'll find it quite significant that that's the case. But I'm going to leave it at that, and you can investigate that on your own should you wish to do so. Then we see that some of the genealogy is listed, and then we see the reunion of Joseph and Israel. And please take note of how beautiful that reunion is. What a blessed thing that must have been. And if we take it just into a human context, this is a father who thought his son had died, and he believed this for so many years. And then he was given word from his sons as to what had actually happened, that his son is still alive. And then to see his son again, the son who he loved. Imagine just that, the beauty in that reunion, the sorrow in that reunion, the turmoil, because it's so good to see him again, and you also then feel the hurt of the lost years and all of these things. But just, when you go through it, just really focus in on the humanity of all of this and just see how beautiful it actually is. And then we get to chapter 47, and going through chapter 47, we'll see how Joseph introduces 5 of his brothers and his father to Pharaoh. Then we see that Israel, Jacob and his family, are given the best of the land of Goshen, to dwell in. And that's actually a wonderful thing. We can see how highly respected Joseph was, that his family was given the best of the land in Egypt. And then we see how Joseph, through wisdom, political genius, if you want to call it that, acquires all the wealth and land of Egypt to Pharaoh. And we see that the people now are more subject to Pharaoh than they even were before, because now they had to pay him a fifth part of all that they grew and things afterwards. So we see that really enriched Egypt. And just to think of all the surrounding nations then that came and bought food from Egypt, and how much of wealth Egypt gained during this time. And then we see something strange. We see that Jacob then blesses Pharaoh. Now it's very strange, because Pharaoh was a pagan. He didn't, he wasn't an Israelite or anything like that. But we see then that Jacob blesses him. He understood how the promises of God were going to be fulfilled in Jacob in some way. And sometimes, it's easy to recognize people like that, the people who the favor of God is upon, and Pharaoh then just accepted this blessing from Jacob. And then we get to a very important promise that was made now. It is absolutely of critical importance, this promise that Joseph made to Jacob. Jacob didn't want to be buried in Egypt. He wanted to be buried in the place of his fathers. And he makes Joseph swear that Joseph will bury him in the place of his fathers. Now note that, in the next reading, we'll see that Joseph makes the children of Israel swear that they would do the same for him. But it is really important, because it mattered where you were buried. And this is talking about it in a physical sense, yes, but also we need to concentrate on that in a spiritual sense as well. The place where you are buried in a spiritual sense is of utmost importance. And then we see when it talks about it in the New Testament and it talks about being buried with him in baptism, be careful where you are buried. We are buried with Jesus Christ in baptism. And so we see this in a physical sense that it was so important for them to be buried in the right place. Well, then we take it back to a spiritual sense, and it is so important for us to be buried in the right place. But I'm going to leave it there for today. I pray that the Lord would bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you. May he give you peace. God bless you as we read today.
Chapter 46. And Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices unto the God of his father Isaac. And God spake unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said,
Jacob, Jacob.
And he said,
Here am I.
And he said,
I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation. I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again. And Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes.
And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father and their little ones and their wives in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him. His sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Egypt. And these are the names of the children of Israel which came into Egypt, Jacob and his sons. Reuben, Jacob's firstborn. And the sons of Reuben, Hanok and Phallu and Hezron and Carmi. And the sons of Simeon, Jemuel and Jamin and Ohad and Jachin and Zohar, and Shael the son of a Canaanitish woman. And the sons of Levi, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. And the sons of Judah, and Onan and Shelah and Pharez and Zerah, but and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Pharez were Hezron and Hamel. And the sons of Issachar, Tola and Phuvah and Job and Shimron. And the sons of Zebulun, Sered and Elon and Jalil. These be the sons of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob in Padan Aram with his daughter Dinah. All the souls of his sons and his daughters were 33. And the sons of Gad, Ziphion and Haggai, Shunai and Esbon, Eri and Arodi and Areli. And the sons of Asher, Jimnah and Ishua and Isui and Beriah and Serah their sister. And the sons of Beriah, Heber and Malchiel. These are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter, and these she bare unto Jacob, even 16 souls. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph and Benjamin. And unto Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, which Asenath, the daughter of Potipherah, priest of On, bare unto him. And the sons of Benjamin were Bela and Becher and Ashbel, Gera and Naaman, Ehi and Rosh, Muppim and Huppim and Ar. These are the sons of Rachel, which were born to Jacob. All the souls were 14. And the sons of Dan, Hushim. And the sons of Naphtali, Jahzeel and Guni and Jezer and Shillem. These are the sons of Bilhah, which Laban gave unto Rachel his daughter, and she bare these unto Jacob. All the souls were 7. All the souls that came with Jacob into Egypt, which came out of his loins, besides Jacob's sons' wives, all the souls were 66. And the sons of Joseph, which were born him in Egypt, were 2 souls. All the souls of the house of Jacob, which came into Egypt, were 70. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph, to direct his face unto Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen. And Joseph made ready his chariot, and went up to meet Israel his father to Goshen, and presented himself unto him. And he fell on his neck, and wept on his neck a good while. And Israel said unto Joseph,
Now let me die, since I have seen thy face, because thou art yet alive.
And Joseph said unto his brethren and unto his father's house,
I will go up and show Pharaoh, and say unto him, My brethren and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me. And the men are shepherds, for their trade hath been to feed cattle, and they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they have. And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you, and shall say, What is your occupation? that ye shall say, Thy servant's trade hath been about cattle, from our youth even until now, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians.
Chapter 47. Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and said,
My father and my brethren, and their flocks and their herds, and all that they have, are come out of the land of Canaan, and behold, they are in the land of Goshen.
And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren,
What is your occupation?
And they said unto Pharaoh,
Thy servants are shepherds.
Both we and also our fathers.
They said moreover unto Pharaoh,
For to sojourn in the land are we come. For thy servants have no pasture for their flocks, for the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now therefore we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen.
And Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, saying,
Thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee. The land of Egypt is before thee. In the best of the land make thy father and brethren to dwell. In the land of Goshen let them dwell. And if thou knowest any men of activity among them, then make them rulers over my cattle.
And Joseph brought in Jacob his father, and set him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Jacob,
How old art thou?
And Jacob said unto Pharaoh,
The days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage.
And Jacob blessed Pharaoh, and went out from before Pharaoh. And Joseph placed his father and his brethren, and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramesses, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph nourished his father and his brethren and all his father's household with bread, according to their families. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said,
Give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth.
And Joseph said,
Give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle, if money fail.
And they brought their cattle unto Joseph. And Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses and for the flocks and for the cattle of the herds and for the asses. And he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. When that year was ended, they came unto him the second year and said unto him,
We will not hide it from my lord. How that our money is spent, my lord, also hath our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my lord, but our bodies and our lands.
Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate.
And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's. And as for the people, he removed them to cities from one end of the borders of Egypt even to the other end thereof. Only the land of the priests bought he not, for the priests had a portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and did eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them. Wherefore they sold not their lands. Then Joseph said unto the people,
Behold, I have bought you this day and your land for Pharaoh. Lo, here is seed for you, and ye shall sow the land. And it shall come to pass in the increase that ye shall give the 5th part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own, for seed of the field, and for your food, and for them of your households, and for food for your little ones.
And they said,
Thou hast saved our lives.
Let us find grace in the sight of my lord, and we will be Pharaoh's servants.
And Joseph made it a law over the land of Egypt unto this day, that Pharaoh should have the 5th part, except the land of the priests only, which became not Pharaoh's. And Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the country of Goshen. And they had possessions therein, and grew and multiplied exceedingly. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. So the whole age of Jacob was 147 years. And the time drew nigh that Israel must die. He called his son Joseph, and said unto him,
If now I have found grace in thy sight, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and deal kindly and truly with me. Bury me not, I pray thee, in Egypt, but I will lie with my fathers, and thou shalt carry me out of Egypt, and bury me in their burying place.
And he said,
I will do as thou hast said.
And he said,
Swear unto me.
and he sware unto him. And Israel bowed himself upon the bed's head.